Well, hello. As you might expect, our class time is going to be loaded today. There are sprints and then there are marathons, and I think World War II is going to be our marathon for this volume. It is the only topic in Volume 4 that received 4 lessons. I'm sure you've noticed. Even with 4 lessons, I'm not sure that was quite enough to tell all the stories, but we're going to get to the main parts, and they alone really are fascinating. Now, while I'd love to fill you in on the details, I'm going to interrupt our class, just like I did our lesson, to turn to another event that occurred in December of 1941. That was, of course, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, our final segment today. What to say about Pearl Harbor? The Japanese concocted a plan to get us out of the Pacific Islands so they could get in. They decided to destroy Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, where a large fleet of ships had been moved by President Roosevelt because he knew of Japan's invasion of Manchuria and French Indochina, and there was talk of war with Japan, though few realized how it would start. Well, the rest is history. The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor for hours on December 7th, 1941, taking the lives of nearly 2,000 with several ships named for our states. They hit the USS West Virginia, the USS Nevada, the USS Pennsylvania, and many more, including the famous USS Arizona, where over 1,000 sailors are still entombed today. There is a memorial built overhead. Can you see the sunken Arizona? If you look real close, this is the memorial in bright white. It's a building you can access by boat, but underneath, there's the ship. Still there. Now be sure to tune in next week for the conclusion of World War II, which will hold the rest of the stories found in Parts 3 and Parts 4. And remember this, I can't tell you all the stories of World War II, but I can give you some pretty awesome tracks to run on. As you add the layers, what are you going to add? You're going to add books and films and documentaries to bring these stories to life.
It is already 3:20. I think we have just officially hit the longest lesson I've ever given, and that was half of World War II. I'm not really surprised. Now, Tate, I know you're a fan of Rommel, the desert fox. I just wonder if you wanted to add anything to this lesson.
Anything else that would be talking about it would be a very long discussion. I think for, basically who he was, you did a very good job.
Thank you. We can save it for later, perhaps. I wouldn't mind hearing your thoughts. Yeah, he's a fascinating character, somewhat controversial, only because, again, some people feel like maybe his reputation's been beefed up a little bit. Maybe in part we needed to find some silver lining in the story of the Nazis. Think about it, because we're talking about an entire people group. Like, it's not fair that the Germans were going to be sort of held accountable for all that Hitler did, right? So I don't know. There's part of finding like the one good German there. I mean, there was lots of good Germans, but he in the military. If you wouldn't mind, just to kind of round this out, put in the chat box adjectives to describe Hitler's invasion of the Soviet Union. What are the words that come to your mind? Hitler's invasion of the Soviet Union. I'm looking for adjectives. Ambitious, backstabber. I said crazy, insane, disastrous. Yeah. Seriously, I think what grumpy. That's a good one. Idiotic. Stupid, bummer. Really, what we'll never know what Hitler would have thought because he's not going to survive all this. But if he were to have had the chance to have looked back at his life, I wonder if he had much time to reflect and regret that invasion, because had he not gone that far, he probably could have held on to Europe for a pretty long time. Just a speculation, but he crossed a line.
Let me pull up our legendary Pretest. So, For week 21, number 1. At the Battle of Midway, the Japanese were surprised to see the blank, also known as the Waltzing Matilda, because they thought it had been sunk in the Battle of the Coral Sea. And number 9, the blank basically stated that the United States of America would seek to contain communism rather than destroy it. That would be the Truman Doctrine. The Truman Doctrine, which will become very important in American history. Well, I'm glad that you made it with me through World War II, parts 1 and 2. So I look forward to seeing you for the rest of it. If you have any questions, stay after class. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. And enjoy your winter break. Thanks, guys.